This is the very first live CEO case studies, certainly at XPX New England, and maybe the first in Massachusetts, and maybe the first, whatever.
In the world.
In the world, exactly. And each CEO is going to be talking about what they just heard. And at 2:50, we'll come back here. The CEOs will share what they have learned and the 3 key points they're going to take back to their office and get done hopefully by July 11th when we will meet again.
I'm Howard Goldman. I'm the CEO of Humboldt Storage and Moving Company in Mind's Eye. And the company was started in 1905 by my grandfather, 3rd generation. I am the lucky mover that got that role. I tell my employees all the time that adapt or die. Really, good is not good enough. In today's disruptive world, you have to keep your mind open to business changes and what's happening in the world, and it's going so fast. So when I was given this opportunity, I thought, why not have 4 very brilliant consultants come in and help us look at our service. And when you're a 3rd generation business, 112 years in business, you get set in some of your ways. And we have been trying over the last 10 or 15 years to diversify our service mix. We bought a high-end artworks and collectibles division and a furniture restoration business. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get terrific advice and I won't end up in the fetal position when I'm done. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say.
One of the things that we had talked about was maybe considering a chief marketing officer, but aside from that, it seems like it's important to have an overall marketing and communications strategy.
Through my research, it would appear there's some incongruence between how you're positioning your brand and where you're actually targeting your clientele.
Finding a trusted advisor to help you just with your thinking, to figure out, do you want to invest in a marketing officer? Do you want to sell a business? Do you want to bring the employees on?
So it's great to be put under that magnifying glass and for outside impartial people to look at your company and give you honest feedback with the intention of making you better. And they made that clear, and they asked some great questions, and not that we're a business that we have to hire rocket scientists, but we do have a lot of moving parts, literally. And they were able to pick up on those quickly. The 3 major points that they brought up to us, and again, being attached to United Van Lines brand, national moving company, has made us, as I tell people, I think the best kept secret in New England as far as a moving company. People don't know about us. So one of the things they brought up was our internet, social media, SEO recognition has to be better. I was surprised, but they said they couldn't really find us when they did searches, Google searches and things like that. And that's not a good thing for us, especially if we're trying to build that brand name. So that will be an immediate focus when I meet with my team. Sales process, we've had some very solid, slow, controlled growth with profitability. And in order to get to the next phase for our company, because we've hit about 18 million, started about 4 million, we need to get a different sales team in, and we need to appeal to a different clientele. We have different areas we're expert at. So getting our name out. So I have to really focus on the sales process. They recommended bringing in a chief marketing officer. Not a bad idea. But the idea is to diversify our sales team so it's not as reliant on me and some of the other people. I think that's a great suggestion. And one of the things I was working on but hadn't really defined yet is that I need an assistant to take over my accounts and some of my responsibilities so I can do more CEO visionary things and really focus on growing the business and that. And I haven't really focused on it as much because I'm putting out fires and moving people every day and enjoying it and taking a lot of pride. But companies don't run themselves, and I have a great team, but they need leadership from somewhere. And if I'm not filling that void, somebody else is going to fill it, and maybe not the way I want it done. So I thought those are great recommendations. So I've got a nice homework assignment. Thank you so much. But I really appreciate it.
Humboldt's challenge today relies on 70% of its income on United Van Lines, a very high customer concentration, and locally they are not really known as Humboldt, but rather recognized under the national brand United Van Lines. The questions that Howard addressed with the advisory board was around how could he diversify, what are some of the key strategies in creating a local brand, and Howard will tell us what he took away from the last session and the 3 action items that he chose.
So when we transitioned to a van line model, our business model changed. And for a lot of reasons, the recognition of Humboldt became less because the trucks had to be branded United Van Lines. They couldn't say H. Goldman Incorporated anymore, or Humboldt. And a lot of our business was driven by the 500 other agents throughout the country that needed us, especially in our peak season, to help them. So we became less reliant on local business and more reliant on the system. And that's great, except that disruption's everywhere. And even though we're a labor-intense business that isn't technologically driven and things haven't changed that much, there's still threats. Uber wants to go into trucking and driverless trucks and internet and all that. So the world has changed, and what happened with the van line system, it didn't change. You know, it's made up of agents that have their own wishes locally, and yet we have this national system, and it really didn't adapt to change. So the van line is going through a difficult transition now financially, and it's still the largest van line in the country, but has a lot of issues. So how do we become what we started, which is a local business again? How do we become known in the business community? We've been around longer than a lot of the other moving companies, and yet when I tell people who we are, they're like, I never heard of you. I've been around 112 years. We do a great job. We're as good as anybody. And they're like, well, but they see United, they don't see Humboldt. And it's hard to get a consumer to come and visit your facility. So the challenge was, how do we get our local name back out there? How do we create our local workforce that isn't so reliant on the van line business? The 3 issues that I was assigned, I'm happy to say 2 of the 3 I think have been accomplished or on their way. 1 has not, and I'll explain why. But one of them was talking about our internet and social media presence. So we are in the process of bringing a new firm in, and we're redoing our SEOs and image on the internet and our social media, and I think we're making progress on that. You know, it takes time. You don't change these things overnight, and it takes a lot of work to get back out there, but we're really trying. And if you look, our website is changing. It's changing almost daily, but we're really working on talking about the story, the 3rd generation of family, the quality business we do, and emphasizing less the United Van Lines and more of the Humboldt. The second thing was the sales process. So while this company had transitioned, even though I'm the CEO of the company, I also have a management team that does a really good job. And I do what I really like to do, which is service customers. And that worked for a really long time. I've been doing this 35, 40 years. But as you get older, you want to do more of a CEO role and less of a sales role, even though sales drives the machine. And so I've been talking to my management team, and again, hit by 2x4, and went back. And so in the last couple of months, we've been able to hire 3 new people for sales, which is good. So the 3rd challenge was to hire somebody to take some of the pressure off of me and help me manage my accounts and manage my day. And we did a lot of interviewing. I don't know, maybe it's me, maybe I'm just a tough critic, but it's hard to find really good people, and mine was not an easy, because I wanted the person that could do everything, and they don't exist, as my wife told me a million times, but I don't listen really well. So I'm back to the drawing board. I'm disappointed to say, because I was really excited about getting somebody to help, and now we're back again, and the ads are out on LinkedIn and social media, and we've sent emails to people in the business and people that I know. So it's probably going to be another month or 2 till I can accomplish that. But I don't want to hire the wrong person, because this is my last go at it, and I want to, there's no guarantees in life, but I want to try and get as close to guaranteed as I can.